Well, it is the first week of playoffs, the quarterfinals. I'm shooting this without a camera person because Broden was busy, and so is my other guy. I'm joined by Dave Stewart right now, who is, what is your official title?
I'm the executive producer of the NALCS broadcast.
And of course, this coverage is brought to you by OmniSlash. So I've been wanting to talk to you for a little bit. I'm glad we were able to figure out timing because you've been involved with the LCS for quite some time. When did you come on board?
My first tournament that I worked on was 2013 Battle of the Atlantic.
Okay.
So that was a good initiation into the NA-EU rivalry. And I've been here ever since the NALCS starting that January 2014.
Were you the executive producer at that time?
I came in as a producer. I had experience in sports and entertainment at other places, but I came in as a producer. It's a much smaller team at that time. But yeah, I was kind of the producer of the NALCS at that time.
So why switch from traditional sports and more mainstream entertainment to something that's all about video games?
I played games all my life. I am a big sports fan. I'd gone from traditional sports production into entertainment, and I'd done some other things here in LA. And some of the friends that I'd worked with, a director and an associate director, had been over here, and they told me, like, this is great, you would love this, just because of the sports background and also some of the gaming interests. And so I had some conversations and talked to them. I really discovered what League of Legends was. I started playing, I started spamming, and I played a lot of games that kind of fell in love with the game. And after some of the conversations led to me joining the team, it was exciting. It seemed like a really great space, and I've been here since, and I love it. I'm still a huge sports fan, but League is right there among my favorite sports.
Going from traditional sports to here, how do you strike that balance? Because a lot of this is modeled after traditional sports, yep, but a lot of it is entirely different. And I think a lot of the audience would sort of revolt if you were just to make it 100% traditional sports style. So how do you find that balance, and where do you determine where that line is?
We like to meme more, right? I think it's a much more meme-y culture. I think that the engagement from the fan base and from players is one of the more exciting things about esports. There's a real high level of engagement there, but I think being authentic to gaming experiences, we do like to model some things from sports that seem to work, but it's a different environment, especially with a digital realm. Some of the reactions you're going to get, some of the in-environment shots are going to be different, and so how to kind of really bring out some of the same personalities and some of the same human traits that you cheer for or you root against or you're excited about. Those are consistent whether it's video games or sports or just day-to-day in life. The things that are admirable and courageous and, focused and intense kind of do translate pretty well.
And, kind of thinking about it, I'm guessing a lot of the audience that's not familiar with production, they might think, oh, executive producer, that's a very big role. But what is your day-to-day? What do you oversee? It's
probably not too dissimilar to your experience as the CEO of Travis Gafford Incorporated.
Yes, okay.
I work with the team. We have a great team, a very talented team, the casters, our producers, our stats team, our graphics team. And so I'm working with a lot of the team to make sure that we are hitting our goals for our broadcast and making sure that NA production is something that's of a high quality. So my day-to-day is a lot of the friendly neighborhood manager. I work with the team, and we try to make sure that we're telling authentic stories and really celebrating the NALCS and League of Legends as an esport.
One of the things that I really enjoyed this year was the transformation of the analyst desk, because I think in the past, the analyst desk, it was like an opportunity to go get up and get some water, do whatever. You can hear the guys in the background just chatting. Now there's a whole lot of different features, including even the countdown that I think is probably happening right now. What? A few minutes, okay.
Not yet.
Okay. Do you need to get back there for that, maybe? Either way, it's interesting. What led to sort of all the transition there and the change that we saw and sort of the revamp of that?
One of the big things that allowed us to take a closer look at that was the change in format. our team is a really good production team. I really value the work that a lot of our team puts into things. When we were doing 2 streams and double best of 3, we kind of had all hands on deck, everybody going all the time, working really, on a really difficult delivery cadence. And it probably did prevent us from doing some of the work that we really want to do as far as making sure we're making our coverage compelling. And part of it, we've also moved from our little cubbyhole space of an analyst desk back to where we had the battle theater, and we really like the new analyst space. We think it's a great environment for storytelling, but more really looking at what kind of stories we wanted to tell, what we wanted it to be. Jat actually was a real catalyst for this, because we were in China and we were talking about some of the analyst desk coverage we were doing in China at Worlds, and one of those waiting for your luggage in an airport conversations where Kim Van Norman, who's our caster lead, Jat and I were discussing what does a set cast on the analyst desk look like, and what can we gain by having consistent faces. So Jat retired from casting, we put him on the analyst desk, we made it Dash and Mark and Jat, and we had conversations, and everybody was excited about being able to have some consistency and also some variety in our approach. And our producer for an ALCS Countdown, Asa Donay, he's done a great job of really getting a mix of those, real sports moments and also just super meme moments. I mean, from the moment they killed off Kobe, and they put Azale into the game, and he, and the urns, and there's a lot of fun, but it doesn't lose the sense of sports coverage. Where my favorite thing about this production team is that we're all league fans. We're fans. If we weren't working, we would be watching this as fans. Yeah. And so it really kind of sparks an interest to make sure we're getting it right and we're telling stories and not making up stories, but reacting to the stories of the league and the excitement of the league, and making compelling coverage about it. And the league this year has been super hype and super exciting, and probably one of the more exciting splits I've seen.
Yeah. With international events coming up, what is your role in those events?
So I help produce our coverage. I'll be producing. We're doing things a little differently this year, where the English broadcast has always been the world feed for everyone else to do their coverage around. We split it up, where we're doing a world feed and a global feed for everyone. Okay. And the English language broadcast will be a customer of that, and putting our production on that. But I work with a lot of our central and our international events team to help with that coverage. And so NA production, we have a joke that NA production wins Worlds every year.
Oh yeah.
We because we get to go to the World Final and produce that, and that's it feels like the culmination of all of our seasonal coverage and getting out there. It's super exciting, and traveling the world, and producing shows in these great environments is really fun and challenging, and it's like a thrill. Yeah.
Well, the last question I'll have for you, I host a show called Hotline League with Mark Zimmerman, who you have to work with. And I was going to say, it is a challenge for me. He starts nodding off sometimes. I have to poke him. It's very difficult. I don't know how challenging it's been for you to work with Mark, but maybe you have, you can share your war stories.
We, some of the production team, he's such an active hand in producing the shows that, he wants first look at all of the material coming out. And so our live edit team is cutting mic checks, and, Mark has notes, and they just say, maybe we can get Mark a first look so he has control, full autonomy over the broadcast. He's really made my role much like a figurehead role, because he is really the executive producer of the NALCS broadcast. Mark, he's on it.
This makes so much sense, because on Monday nights he does nothing. So I guess
tired. I'm sure he's tired from doing all of this all weekend, producing all the coverage. It must be exhausting.
Very good. Well, NALCS Countdown is starting in just a second. Do you have anything you would want to say to any of the fans out there?
Are you going to be in Oakland?
I'm going to be in Oakland.
I'm super excited. I think we've got 3 teams, right? It's Team Liquid, C9, TSM. We'll find out today whether it's FlyQuest or 100 Thieves, but I'm really, really excited about that weekend. I think it's a great venue, and I think it's going to be a really exciting final. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah.
Double Lift and Bjergsen are popping off in social media and interviews, and like, will they meet? Yeah. Like that feels pretty epic if we get to see those guys go at it, to see, you know, who is really the king of NA. But I'm super excited, and I'm excited to see you there, and hopefully a lot of our fans there as well.
Yeah, very good. Well, hopefully everyone makes it. Thank you so much for the interview. It's cool to learn a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes and how the stuff is structured. Sure. So thanks so much. Looking forward to it.
It's an honor, Travis. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, for everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. Hey guys, it's me, Travis Gafford. You may know me from the interview that you just watched to the end, so that you're seeing the outro now. Wanted to give you a heads up that if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you're actually a better human being. And by the way, thank you so much to OmniSlash for making this all possible.